Hello everybody, this is Tavi Ginariu with EliteGuitarist.com. It is my great joy to welcome you to another tutorial, and today I'll be teaching you how to play Valse Venezolano number 2 by Antonio Lauro. This is also known by the name Andreina. I love Lauro's waltzes. They are full of life and color and excitement, and they are a combination of South American music, Venezuelan music, and every once in a while we hear hints of a Schubert type waltz that you might have heard in Vienna. They are syncopated, they are rhythmic, and from the get-go I would like to encourage all of you to be flexible with your interpretations. Some believe that since this is a waltz, it's supposed to be danced to, and they have a very metronomical approach to this music. Others believe that this is an instrumental piece, and since we don't have any dancers around ourselves, we can take some flexibility with the tempo. We could think of tempo being elastic and take some liberties. Whatever school of thought you come from, be gracious to one another and allow for some latitude and for some interpretive choices depending on the performer's preference. Without any further ado, let's start with the first segment of this tutorial. We're going to focus in the first part on bars number 1 through 9. Also, if you're watching this video on any of our social media channels, head over to the website eliteguitarist.com for the full tutorial and many other tutorials. Okay, so let's begin with the first segment of this tutorial. For the first segment, we're going to focus on bars number 1 through 9, and I will go through each bar note for note, and I'll make appropriate comments with regards to phrasing or fingering, right hand fingering, and so on. So let's begin with bar number 1. The piece is a waltz, which means it's written in 3/4 and sometimes in 6/8, but this one is in 3/4. And in a waltz, the accent always falls on beat number 1. If it's a 6/8, it falls on 1 and 4, and so you may want to get used to the groove of a waltz by simply tapping or clapping 3 beats, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, with a focus on the first beat. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. And so it's really important to feel that push and that energy taking place on that first beat of every bar. Now, the first bar does not have anything in the very beginning. Our first note occurs in the second half of the first beat. And so if our tempo is like this, you will have a 8th note rest at the very beginning of the beat, which means that the first note occurs on the second half of the first beat. So if our tempo is 1, 2, 3, 1, da da dum pam pam pam, and so on. Don't worry about my singing. It is good enough to be offensive, but also good enough to hopefully be helpful in phrasing and so on. So you could cut both ways. So first bar goes like this: 1 ta 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 ta, and beat and bar number 2. Okay, so what are the notes in the first bar? We begin like this: open B, second string, C sharp, D, E, F sharp. So let's try this again. I'm going to start with the I finger on the second B string, B, C, alternate to M, D sharp with the third finger on the 4th fret, E played on the second string, 5th fret, so B, C, D, E, F sharp, played with finger number 1 on the left hand and the I finger on the right hand. And then moving into bar number 2, I have E and A together, played simultaneously. Low 6th string and A played with the A finger on the 1st string, and the A is played with the 4th finger on the 5th fret. So let's take again bar number 1, 1. And it's really important from the get-go to secure a very good position. Try to avoid keeping your fingers angled, but rather parallel to the neck of the guitar. The palm of the hand should be parallel to the neck, and the fingers right on the tip, without angling them like this, but rather shifting the wrist so that the fingers are all curved and perpendicular on the neck of the guitar. So, bar number 1. Bar number 2 begins like this. We begin that bar by playing E, 6 open string, and A, played with the A finger on the right hand. Now that ascending line is very important, and that high A note should be the highest point of the line. Just as we would sing that phrase, la 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 la, that high note actually is the melody note and should receive the highest amount of emphasis. And what I do with the A finger here, rather than simply plucking the string in a non-generic way, I just put more pressure on that first string and pluck towards the wrist. Do you hear the heftiness of that note and the amount of pressure I place on the string, because I want that string to ring out a little bit more. So followed by G and B, so E and A. G and B are open third and second string, played with the I and M fingers. And then I'm playing a G, F sharp with 1, and hammer on back to G with the second finger. So let's review bar number 2. Again, bar number 2. Bar number 3 now. I'm playing here a G sharp with the third finger on the 6th string, 4th fret, and a pull off with the first finger from F sharp to open E. Now this pull off should be very well controlled. The finger should not fly out. A pull off really means a rest stroke with that finger. Imagine that you're actually performing a rest stroke with the first finger. Straight down and so G sharp and F sharp together, followed by a pull off to an open E. And then I'm playing an E and D sharp together. The E note is played with the first finger on the 4th string, 2nd fret, D sharp played with the 4th finger on the 2nd string, 4th fret. Then open 1st string E. Again, bar number 3. Now notice that I'm keeping the 3rd finger planted because I want the G sharp to serve as a foundation for the bass. Followed by open B, 2nd string, and open E, 1st string. So bar number 3 again to review. And once I play the E on the 4th string, I also keep this one planted and let it ring throughout the entire bar. Otherwise, it would sound a little bit too choppy. We don't want that, but rather going on to bar number 4. A and D, A open 5th string and D played with a 4th finger on the 2nd string, 3rd fret. Followed by the notes here are E, C, pull off, legato to a B open string, and then A played with a 3rd finger on the 3rd string 2nd fret. So rhythmically, the first 2 notes take 1 beat of the bar, 1, 2, and 3, and. Okay, let's try that again. Bar number 4, A and D together, E played with the thumb on the right hand, rhythmically again, 1 and 2 and 3 and. Moving on to bar number 5 now, a series of 8th notes. A, open 5th string, played simultaneously with a G sharp. Hammer on to A, played with the 2nd finger on the 3rd string. I hold that 2nd finger as an anchor finger. C, played with the 1st finger on the 2nd string, 1st fret, and then pull off to open B. So followed by, this is an A sharp, followed by an open 2nd string B. Okay, so let's review bar number 5. All of those notes are even 8th notes. Once again, 1 and 2 and 3 and. That is perhaps one of the easiest bars in the piece. And now we're going to move on to bar number 6. And bar number 6, it's a little bit challenging because it involves a partial bar chord. And I would like to play here 5 out of the 6 strings, actually press 5 out of the 6 strings of the guitar. And I'm playing a B with the 1st finger on the 5th string 2nd fret, simultaneously with E, which is played on the 2nd string 5th fret with the 4th finger. Again, it's B and E, and then a pull off to D sharp. The D sharp is played with the 3rd finger on the 2nd string 4th fret. And it's really helpful to pull straight down and control the movement of the pull off. I have often seen performers really elevate the finger and do kind of a wild pull off or a really low one. The idea of pull offs and hammer-ons is not as much the velocity or the strength as it is the placement. So I would rather have a really well-controlled pull-off. So bar number 6, a whole bunch of 8th notes, all 8th notes in this bar, B and E simultaneous, followed by a D sharp, played with the 3rd finger on the 2nd string, and the E note pulls off to the D sharp. And now I have an A together with a D. In your music this is spelled as a C double sharp, but in reality it's just a harmonic D note, followed by a D sharp. Now the A is already pressed by the 1st finger bar chord on the 3rd string 2nd fret. The D note is played with the 2nd finger on the 2nd string 3rd fret. So hammer on to the D sharp. Then I'm holding the D sharp with the 3rd finger and placing my 2nd finger on the G note of the 1st string and pull off to the F sharp. The F sharp is already played and pressed by the 1st finger on the 1st string. So bar number 6. Once again. And just a couple more bars and we're gonna wrap up this first segment of the tutorial. Bar number 7, I'm going now to the 6th fret. And I'm playing a B note in the bass with a 2nd finger on the 6th string 6th fret and an F natural. In your music that's spelled as an E sharp, followed by a hammer-on to an F sharp. and then a C note played with a fourth finger on the first string, 8th fret. B again, followed by B on the first string. So bar number 7. Rhythmically, you have 2 8th notes, 1 quarter note, followed by 2 8th notes, and you go like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and. So bar number 7. Bar number 8, I have E and A played together. We're in the 7th position, and I'm playing an E on the 5th string, 7th fret, simultaneously with an A played on the 2nd string, 10th fret, followed by B played with the 3rd finger on the 4th string, 9th fret, and then G played with the 2nd finger on the 2nd string, 8th fret. So bar number 8 again: 1, 2 and 3 and. So E and A, followed by B on the 4th string, G played with the 2nd finger on the 2nd string, pull off to the F sharp that's already played on the 2nd string by virtue of a bar chord, and then E played with a 4th finger on the 3rd string, 9th fret. Bar number 8 rhythmically goes like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and. Once again, 1 and 2 and 3 and then bar number 9, it's a descending line played on the 7th position, and we're going to begin by playing B and D sharp together. The B is played on the 6th string, 7th fret, the D sharp played with the 2nd finger, 8th fret, 3rd string. So we have B and D sharp, C natural played with the 4th finger on the 4th string, 10th fret, B played with the 3rd finger on the 4th string, A played on the 4th string with the 1st finger, bar chord. Then I have G played with the 4th finger on the 5th string's 10th fret, and F sharp played with the 3rd finger on the 5th string, 9th fret. So, to review, B and D, C natural, B, A, G, F sharp, and then we're going to pick it up with the second part of the tutorial. Let's review bars number 6, 7, 8, and 9, starting with bar number 6. I'll see you back in just a couple of moments here for the second part of this tutorial, starting with bar number 10.